And it really is compelling. Katie joins us now. It's lovely to see you.
Hey,
welcome.
Hello.
So the inspiration for this was really born out of the volunteering work that you do over here in UK prisons.
Yeah, that's right. So I've been volunteering sort of off camera for the last couple of years in women's prisons. It sort of started around, they contacted me first and they'd been doing projects about women that had inspired them. And they said, we've done this project about you, we've named this part of the prison about after you, so would you come in? And I have to be honest, rather reluctantly, I thought, I don't know if it's something I'd actually volunteer to do. And I think my apprehension and judgment was wrong. I went in, I related to a lot of the women, I formed sort of relationships with them and just carried on and going in doing workshops and groups and talks, stuff around International Women's Day. And then got this real interest in, you know, motherhood behind bars. Went out to the States where obviously it's different laws, different types of crime, and it really kind of opened the door on this unseen world and finding motherhood in a setting that you would never really think about.
How do the two countries, I mean, obviously in America it's kind of state by state, right? But broadly, how do the two countries compare? So if you're a mother with a baby over here, what happens?
Yeah, I mean, there's one law here, you know, and there's mother and baby unit in some female prisons here, and people that are screened and go through sort of rigorous checks and testing can keep their baby up to the age of 2 years old in a sort of prison nursery. In the States, it's almost like individual countries where the law is different, you know, right down in the South in the Bible Belt where I went, then back up to the North in Chicago where I then went, you know, we filmed for 6 months, so we've got real variety. It's just pot luck where you're incarcerated.
Where you end up. I mean, the figures are shocking, actually. 60,000 women, pregnant women, are being locked up each year in America, this is. Around 1 in 25 women are locked up pregnant. In Illinois, 1 in 20 children have a parent in jail. And although those statistics are shocking, what it seems to be more reflective of is that how many women and children's lives are impacted some way by trauma and abuse or crime.
Exactly that. And I think there might be some people watching this that feel this is controversial and why should they care about someone in prison? They made their choice. And absolutely, there is a percent of the population that that's true for. And you'll see on the programme, by their own admission, they say, this is the right place for me for now. But male versus female crime is very different. And like you said, 60% of the population are there for drug charges. So usually they've been exploited by a pimp or a drug dealer and they're used as a mule, or they have addiction themselves. And like you said, that addiction comes from a trauma that happened to them in childhood. So you don't go to prison and meet loads of Myra Hindleys. Sure, they exist, and I accept that they should be there, but that's a small percent of the population. You meet women like you and I that are mothers, daughters, wives, but life unravelled and things got tough and there was no support system in place, you know.
Well, just overall, like, whether it's from a moral or economic argument, it just doesn't make sense to lock people up and throw away the key without rehabilitating them. It just doesn't.
And also it's not working, because I would be interviewing someone in a cell and they would say, oh, my mum's down the wing in another cell, my grandma's been here and my daughter's in the county jail and been arrested. So generational cycle of incarceration and addiction.
So what happens to children who have mothers in US prisons?
So it varies. There's 9 state nurseries in the whole of the states, and that means you can keep your child up to the age of 2 with you in the prison. There's some places that just don't have any facilities or support for women or children. You give birth and 24 hours later your child is taken away from you. And, you know, you're literally talking about women having cesareans, being stitched up and being thrown back into a jail cell.
It's like punishment on the child.
Yeah, and that is the common thread throughout this, that always the child is the victim. And we would just meet people that their only future was the same cycle as their mum. And I think statistics show if you're disconnected to your mum in the first 2-3 years, you're statistically more likely to end up in prison yourself.
God, that's so awful, isn't it?
What's the appetite like for reform over there?
Again, it varies, because when I went to the South, I got to visit these amazing alternative facilities. So there were some that were missionaries, Christian-led, so lots of singing and dancing, but also life skills. They had a dentistry place, they had a hairdressers, they were educating and teaching women skills. You're still court-ordered and sent there by the judge. I also went to a detox centre, which was similar. You're still serving out a sentence, but your child can live with you up to the age of 13 years old.
I mean, it sounds, like you say, potluck, depending on what state where you're at, the kind of care you get. It is utterly fascinating and brilliant real-life stories. That's Katie Piper's Jailhouse Mums. That's 10 p.m. on W Channel tomorrow. Something else that you're all about to embark on, which seems incredibly exciting, is the Loose Women Tour.
I know.
You're going out and about.
Yeah, first time they've done it. And, you know, I've only been on Loose for 2 years, so I still kind of feel a bit like a newbie compared to some of the veterans. But you just know it's going to be pretty wild, don't you think?
I mean, just the line, come and let loose with us on tour.
We're not on daytime, we're not going to be told off an aria.
That's what I was going to say. It's going to feel quite different because of just the time of day. It's the fact it's the evening. I mean, you will be let loose a little bit more.
Literally. I'm scared / excited.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be a lot
that's the natural reaction.
Yeah. I think there'll be a lot of interaction with the audience and people are going to be able to ask questions and we'll probably you'll be able to sort of meet people afterwards. And
Tour bus? What's that? Are you bunking down with Janice?
Me and Janet Street Porter will be together, you know, sharing a bunk. Yeah.
Amazing.
It will be really good fun. And not only that, you've also got on ITV, you're back at the weekend, aren't you?
Yes, that's right, yeah. So the Breakfast Show starts again this Sunday. I had a series 1 last year and, you know, a new show, you always think, oh, will anybody watch it? You know, how will it do? And then it was really great, the response, and it's come back again. And it's so different from being in a maximum security jail. You know, when I was filming out there, I don't know, it's a tight budget.
Good to have variety.
Yeah, it's fun and it's nice because you do, you know, fun and joy are also important and it'll be sort of celebrity guests, TikTokers, lots of fun content. So I like that kind of, you know, diversity.
So listen, Katie Piper's Jailhouse Mums starts tomorrow, 10 p.m. on the W channel, and then Katie Piper's Breakfast Show returns this Sunday at 8:30 on ITV, and the Loose Women Tour will just be coming to a town near you. And
1st of September it begins.
If you just open your window, you will hear them. It's kind of all you need, really. Just it'll be available on a loudspeaker and Parish News. Hear you.
Well done, you. It's really lovely to see you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.